is up, all you savages? I almost left you guys an extended week without a video, all 11 followers. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna do a little bit of a different video this week. Didn't really have much for content this week, just kind of ran around and took care of a bunch of other things that don't really include Savage 2-valve things. Did a couple of things at the shop today, kind of getting stuff ready to prep the motor to put in the car. Nothing too crazy worth really filming, but as you guys saw in the title to this video, we're doing a little something different. 5 reasons why I love the New Edge Mustang. We're gonna go off this list and just kind of talk about some of the ups that I like about the car. We're gonna start off with number 1, body style. Honestly, I think for the car of its era, it has a very, very sexy, aggressive body line to it. It's entirely different from the Fox bodies and the SN body cars. In '99 when the New Edge came out. When I was a kid, I didn't care for it too much. It didn't really look like much of a Mustang to me, but it tended to actually eventually grow on me. I was a fan of the SN body car for a while when I was a kid growing up, and the New Edge just didn't do it for me. And then later on, they just started really, catching my eye when I started seeing like the Celines and the Terminators, and I grew to love them. So, body style, aggressive body line, they really catch the eye, and I just think it's a very aggressive, look for that era, for the 99 to 04 Mustangs and other cars, that it competed against within that time. You had your F-body Camaros, your Trans Ams, everything else was just still kind of rounded. So it's kind of a weird one, but yeah, that's number 1, guys, and I just can't not look at them. They break my neck. What can I say? So number 2, driver position. When I say driver position, I mean like the interior. With a lot of these newer Mustangs, I haven't really been able to drive a new S550 yet. I know they handle and drive entirely different than the S197 cars. As you guys know, we got the 2012 GT500 in here, and I get my fair share of getting to jump in that car and driving around a little bit. And it's a very big, comfortable car, and it's got a lot of power for what it is. But the weird thing about driving the newer cars is they're almost too comfortable. They get up the power and speed really fast, and you don't really realize it. And I really think that's how a lot of people get themselves in trouble and get themselves into dangerous situations, to where the New Edges drive a lot like a Fox body, so to say. You have that more up driver position. You got to kind of reach a little bit for the shifter. Placement of everything, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's too uncomfortable. Well, when these cars were built, they weren't really made to be comfortable. They were made to be driven. 99, the top car in 99 when the New Edge body style came out was the Cobra, which, Ford had to apologize about, but, and that was even an IRS car. But as far as driver position, guys, like, it just, honestly, to me, when I'm getting in a car that I actually want to drive, I'm not a real laid back kind of guy. I think if you have your seat reclined too far back, you're too comfortable and you're too unaware of your surroundings and what you're doing. And especially if you're gonna get in a performance vehicle like a Mustang or a Camaro or a Corvette, you don't wanna be too comfortable. You wanna be on top of it, you wanna be alert. And that's honestly why I kind of like the way how the interior is in them. Yeah, they're kind of shoddy, they're outdated. They ride a little rough compared to a lot of the newer cars, but hey, you're gonna get that as new cars get built every year. 10 years from now, S550s are gonna be junk if they're still making the Mustang, if we still have the privilege to be able to buy these cars. So yeah, that's reason number 2, guys. As far as driver position goes and interior, I like the way how they feel. They just, you know, they're a real aggressive style driving car. And I'm a fan of that because I like to actually drive my cars. Number 3, suspension. A lot of people say, oh, the Mustangs perform like crap. Well, from the factory they did. So one of the reasons why I like the 99 to 04 body style is because not only is it a different car from the Fox body and the SN, it's still the same car because it's still built on a very similar platform. It's a 4-link single rear axle suspension platform. They use the same platform from 1979 to 2004, making them very versatile and, you know, being able to use parts from older cars and newer cars and interchange them together for whatever your application is. If you're building a drag car or a road race car, believe it or not, a lot of the Fox body guys actually rob a lot of the parts off like these new edges for the Fox bodies because they have better wheel selection when they go to the 5-lug conversion. They do the SN95, 03, 04 rear axle conversions, the IRS conversions. I mean, as far as suspension goes, I mean, the other nice thing about being as it's the same platform, there are so many options on the market, whether you're gonna build a road race car, a drag car, a street car, a drift car. I mean, Mustangs are so versatile, and that's why I really like the 99 to 04 body because it picks up a lot off of the Fox body platform. And they're real rigid, they're real tight, they're real nimble, and they're driver cars. You know, I mean, you gotta drive them. A lot of people complain that they're not that comfortable. Well, guess what? They weren't built to be comfortable. So that's kind of where I'm at on suspension, and just the fact that they're so versatile and there's so many different options. And to this day, the market is not going away. It's still there. We have a Fox body in our shop right now that just came from being a drag car to a full-built road race car. That's the nice thing about these platforms, 79 to 04, and that's why I preferably like the new Edge. Going back to reason 1, the body style. It's basically a Fox body with a new body style on it and an updated interior, which is cool. I like that. I think it's really cool about the cars. So let's go into reason number 4, guys. Reason number 4, powertrain options. So the 1999 to 2004 Ford Mustangs, there's a few different options depending on what model you got. Whether you got the GT, which came with the single overhead cam, 4.6 liter V8. You got the Bullet motor, which was a 4.6 liter, but it had a couple of things that were touched on it. It had a different intake manifold and such. You started getting into like your Roush and your Celine motors, which were 4.6 platforms with superchargers. And then you got into your Cobra and your Mach 1 platforms, your 99 to 01 Cobra with the C motor, your Mach 1, which is basically a Terminator block and head combination with the C Cobra intake on it and a couple of other things. But and then your 0304 Terminator, which was basically the boss of the generation. That was the supercharged dual overhead cam, 4.6 liter setup that made 400 horsepower out of the factory, which that car is ahead of its time too, which is another reason why I'm a big fan of the 99 to 04 body style. I mean, like, Ford, I really think they made a pretty big imprint when they put these cars on the market. And to this day, I just don't think they get the credit that they deserve anymore. But as far as powertrain options go, those were just Ford options. There's more options as far as like if you're gonna build the car for a different setup or a different platform. I hate to say it, but you could drop an LS in them, very easy to do. They make suspension kits where you could drop an LS right in them, a Chevy engine combination. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. You could put a new Coyote platform in them very easily. You can put a push rod motor combination, like a small block Ford. I got a key member for my car right now if I wanted to build a little nasty small block Ford for it, and so on. Or there's even guys out there that are rocking 2JZs in these cars, which is kind of different, but it's doable just because these cars are so versatile. So reason number 5 going into this. So we're gonna go into reason number 5. It's the new most hated Mustang. And it hurts me to say that, but the reason why I like that reason is because a lot of these kids these days that you're probably watching like, oh yeah, I'm probably already done with this video, he's stupid. Well, you know what? The 99 to 04 cars were, like I said, they made a pretty big impact for their time, and they're still a very sexy car. Depending on what model you have, they're just good looking cars. The Bullets, the Salines, the Mach 1s, even the GTs. It hurts to say, like, a lot of these people these days like are moving away from this generation body just because it's outdated, the interior and the way how they drive. And I understand, like, if you're buying a car that you're gonna daily, it's probably not that great of a daily car, but if you wanna build a budget hot rod, the New Edges are actually really cool cars to build, because going back to earlier, it's basically a newer, updated Fox body platform, newer body style, newer body lines, newer interior, but the options are just endless, guys. As far as, you know, like what we're doing with the Savage build, my goal is in the next year or two, I want to be making 600 horsepower on the street with this car and just destroying everything in its path. Which is doable if you're willing to put the money into your car and if you're willing to put your money into the right things. As far as Savage goes right now, I'm building a bulletproof rear end for that car because I'm going to be building a turbo motor for it at the end of this year going into next year. And it's going to be a purpose-built street strip car. For those of you who are new to the channel, Savage 2-valve is my project build, and it's a 2000 Ford Mustang GT. The most hated Mustang of this generation. But you know what? It's gonna go out there in the next year or two after the car's kind of where I want it to be, and it's gonna hurt feelings. And there's guys back east making real big power with turbo 4.6 platforms with 2-valve heads. Not even dual overhead cam heads, 2-valve heads. And I think people are just kind of overlooking what it is. Like I said, I understand if you just want to be cool, you want to have a nice daily, you want to be laid back, you want to enjoy the car, that's good, best of power to you. But, you know, like I said, I like driving my cars, I like feeling the power in my cars, and I like being alert. That's just who I am as a driver. Everybody's different when they get in the cars, and, you know, this is more of an opinionated video, just kind of going over why I like the cars and why I think that they're an awesome platform if you're going to get into a project budget build. Like, you know, if you bought like say a 2003 Ford Mustang GT for $3,500 and you had a $10,000–$15,000 budget to put into it, you could have a really cool car for that kind of budget and what you're trying to put into it. It may not, out of the box, make the power of a Coyote setup, so to say, but with the power adder of like a turbo, nitrous supercharger, you can get up in the 400 or 500 horsepower club real quick. As far as the stock platform goes, yeah, Ford made some mistakes putting the motor together. But they didn't make any mistakes on the 0304 Cobras. That's why they're basically like the Supra of the Mustang for that generation, just because the car was way over engineered for what it was. But again, guys, that's my 5 reasons why I love the New Edge Mustang. Like I said, it's more of an opinionated video. You guys can put your opinions in the comments if you would like. Just trying to do something different, trying to see if we can get some people viewing, checking out the channel. Again, my name is Evan. This is Savage 2Valve TV. If you guys like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I like comments, I like reading them, and I like replying to them. So just trying to get this channel to grow and build a little more, and trying to have fun with it, and also just trying to keep up on putting videos out for you guys. So until we see you next time, stay savages. See you later, guys.